So good afternoon, everybody. My esteemed panelists and hoteliers, my faculty and my students and all our guests that have joined us this afternoon. A very wonderful afternoon, and I'm with extreme gratitude for all of you to take the time to actually be on the panel, and for everyone that is watching. On behalf of Don Bosco College Hospitality Studies, I would like to welcome everybody. Ms. Behnaz Kandawala, our rooms division manager from The Oberoi. I say ours because we've had a heap of students that have been trained and mentored and are with you all. So it's a wonderful thing. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Behnaz. Ms. Bindya Yadav, the executive housekeeper for The Oberoi. I hope I'm not getting, y'all into trouble. We have the rooms division and the executive housekeeper with us. Hopefully the rest can take care of the situation for an hour and some that we have you. Thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Karthik Rao, front office manager, Four Seasons, another hotel that has a heap of students too, and has always been very good to Don Bosco. Thank you so much for taking the time. Mr. Kingsley Pereira, cluster executive housekeeper, Wyndham Hotels International from Powai. Just an aside, Kingsley has been a cheerleader of Don Bosco for years. And while he was in Renaissance, and has attended every single event that we've had. We are so grateful, and not only that, has brought his family too. We're very happy to have him on the panel today. I think, Kingsley, are you there, sir?
Ma'am, he's on a call with me. Sorry, I'll
okay, lovely. Okay. And Mr. Vikas Nilave, assistant housekeeping manager, Hyatt Regency. Thank you so much. I can imagine how busy you all are, but thank you for taking the time.
Thank you.
Each and every one of you is going through and has been through the most trying period, like everyone else, but I think hoteliers have a little bigger cross to bear, and you'll have done it beautifully. We look forward to a brighter 2021, but I think the only way we can do that is by getting ready. And for my present first years, we already have an entire batch of first years who are eager to get to know about the hotels and to get to understand the workings. And I think we couldn't have been better named. Cooperation in an operation with the nerve center and backbone. Truly, without the nerve center and the backbone, the rest of the frills would not manage. So with that, I hand over to Roma. Roma ma'am is my front office lecturer who takes care of the entire department, is an ex-student of ours who came back to us after work experience, tremendous work experience, because I refused to take her on without that, and has ever after that grown in her purview as a lecturer. Thank you so much, Roma, for curating this webinar, and I hand it over to you. Thank you, panelists, very much. Thank you. Roma, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am Annabelle, for being a driving force for all of us and a role model and inspiration to all our students. Melroy Chef, I would request you to please share the presentation.
Yes, ma'am.
Previous slide, Chef.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. Rooms Division, its cooperation in an operation with a nerve center and a backbone. Front office as a nerve center, as it takes care of two important aspects. One is communication, second is accounting. Housekeeping as a backbone of the hotel, as this department takes care a lot of responsibilities under them. together known as Rooms Division Department. Next slide, please, Chef.
I need to do the video.
Here at Don Bosco, we have a motto that says, we are here to develop our students as holistic and responsible citizens who love for continuous learning and are effective and discern their calling for their career. With this, I take great pleasure in welcoming and introducing our today's panel. Next slide, please. Our first panelist, Ms. Benaz Kandawala. She has a diploma from Rizvi College of Hotel Management, started working as a front office assistant in 2004 with the Oberoi Group, went on to become a front office manager in 2016 at the Oberoi's. From 2019 onwards, she has been the Rooms Division Manager at the Oberoi, Mumbai. She's also won the Employee of the Year award by Lead Quality Assurance in 2012 and has also been nominated by Hotelier India as Best Front Office Manager in 2014. She loves to write down her thoughts and experiences, hence she writes a blog. We welcome you, Ms. Benaz Kandawala. Next slide, please. Our second panelist for today is Ms. Vindhya Yadav. She comes with a diploma in Hotel Management and Catering Technology and Applied Nutrition from IHM Bhopal. Ms. Yadav also holds a BA in Arts and an MBA in Human Resource and Personal Administration. She comes with 18 years of experience in the field of housekeeping and has worked with Oberoi Group in different properties from 2001 to 2011. She joined as an executive housekeeper at Vivanta by Taj, Bangalore in 2011. Went on to become Director of Services at JW Marriott Juhu. She has also been an executive housekeeper for Reliance Industries, the Imperial New Delhi and Rosette House. In 2020, Ms. Vindhya Yadav joined back the Oberoi Mumbai as an executive housekeeper. We welcome you, Ms. Vindhya Yadav.
Thank you so much.
And next, the third panelist for today is Mr. Kingsley Pereira. He has 18 years of experience working in different renowned international luxury brands as ITC Grand Maratha, the Luxury Collection, Taj Lands, Courtyard by Marriott International Airport. He has been a corporate level executive housekeeper with ITC Fortune Park Hotels Limited Group. He has also been an executive housekeeper at the Four Points by Sheraton. Currently, Mr. Pereira is with Wyndham International at Ramada Powai as Cluster Executive Housekeeper. He has been certified as a Taj Department Trainer in 2008 and also been awarded Spirit to Serve Award and the Manager of the Quarter by Marriott Hotel in 2011. We welcome you, Mr. Pereira.
Thank you.
Moving to the next panelist for today is Mr. Karthik Rao. Mr. Karthik Rao has attained Swiss Hotel Association Diploma and a BBA in Hospitality Management from Glion Institute of Higher Education. He started his career as a Rooms Division Management trainee at St. Regis Aspen Resort, Colorado. He has 14 years of experience in the field of hospitality. Mr. Rao joined Four Seasons Mumbai as a front office supervisor and went on to become an assistant front office manager. He then joined JW Marriott Mumbai as assistant sales manager. And in 2016, he joined back Four Seasons. And from 2018 onwards, he has been the front office manager. We welcome you, Mr. Karthik Rao. Next slide, please. The last panelist, but not the least, Mr. Vikas Nilave. He has a degree in Hotel and Hospitality Administration from IHM Ahmedabad. Mr. Nilave comes with 15 years of experience in the field of housekeeping and has worked with great industry professionals. From 2005 onwards, he started his career as a room attendant at Hyatt Regency and has moved up the ladder since. He has also worked for the minibar team as a team leader and assistant manager. From 2017 onwards, Mr. Vikas Nilave has been an assistant housekeeping manager at Hyatt Regency. We welcome you, Mr. Vikas Nilave.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chef. We've made a video which represents the Don Bosco's Rooms Division team. I would like you all to have a look at that. Melroy Chef, I would request you to play the video, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Milroy Chef. It's very important to have a coordination between all the departments of hotel. So, Ms. Kandawala, I would like to ask you how important it is to have like a good coordination and a rapport between front office and housekeeping.
It is as important as you need to have your meals in the day. If there is no coordination, the entire guest experience, okay, the entire hotel operations, because rooms division takes a very, very major part of your daily operations in a hotel. So that's something between me and Vidya that we always endeavor that yes, there will be fights. There will be a lot of fights between the two departments when the hotel is on high occupancy. But at the end of the day, they need to deliver, and only if they deliver does front office deliver. So it is very, very important to have a very clear communication between the two department heads and their assistant managers also.
Absolutely. With moving through this, Mr. Pereira and Mr. Raul, I would like to ask you all, you all chose your careers to start with respectively housekeeping and front office. How did you start, or how did you thought about that this would be the right career path for us? Mr. Kingsley Pereira, you can
Hi,
start.
good afternoon. Hi.
Yes,
Am I audible?
yes.
Can I be heard? All right.
Yes.
Well, from the very beginning, after finishing my IHM, I did my hotel management from IHM Mumbai, and it was at that point of time that I was very inclined towards housekeeping and maintenance and upkeep of the hotel. So that's when I decided to go into housekeeping and choose that as my career path. It was when I was training with the ITC Grand Maratha as an industrial trainee for 6 months that I got exposed to the actual reality of the hospitality industry. And that's what made me to kind of move into choosing the career of a housekeeper.
All right. So the industrial training was the calling for the department.
The industrial training, yes. Actually, in industrial training, we see different facets of the hospitality, and I kind of liked housekeeping because it was something that I could wake up at any given point of time and start working. It was not a department where I had to give a second thought or run away from. So I think the industrial training was a very vital point in my career, which made me to properly understand which industry I need to choose and which career path I need to take.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pereira. Mr. Raul, would you like to tell us about your path towards front office?
Sure, it's actually very similar, right? It's a very personal journey, and it's all of us who go through it. And though I say I'm more front office oriented, housekeeping is as important. So though I'm very customer centric, I think that's one of my qualities which stands out. But housekeeping is very essential. Like I had to do it at some point in my career, so it's not that you can avoid it. So definitely industrial training, as you said, I had the management training program, but before choosing that as well, you know, it is something that drives you towards it. I have a lot of colleagues, my friends who are into finance and different departments, but you really have to look at your strengths and your where you stand strong, and then you kind of take a decision. And sometimes you kind of realize it during your job or through your experience, right, that that's not for you. And my personal experience, that is with sales. You know, though I enjoyed sales and the luxuries you have, it's a tough job. It's taken very lightly, but without them you can't survive. And it's really, again, very personal. So absolutely, you have to look at your weaknesses, your strengths, what you need to work on. That's what I would say. So do not drive with people because your ex-person or your friend is doing it. You should do the same. It's a very personal journey. And if you're young, and when you're young, when you start, it's okay to make mistakes, you know, and you will fall back and fall a lot of times, but that's okay. That's a learning, and you should move on.
True, absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Raul. Ms. Yadav, I want to know what are the qualities that you look for in a housekeeper? Like, what are the qualities that are needed?
The first quality is that person has to be really passionate for housekeeping, has to show interest that yes, they really want to go for housekeeping, because if you really don't have interest, then it will start showing in your work as well. So the passion has to be there. Then attention for detail. Not everybody has that eye for detail to look into the nitty-gritties of the area and how to check a room. So you have to be really, and passion is something which I believe every work sphere requires. But for housekeeping, being a very, at times it will get monotonous for people. But for that, you have to be really passionate.
All right, ma'am. Thank you. Mr. Nalave, in daily activities, there are a lot of challenges that we face. So as a housekeeper, what are the different challenges that you all face?
For the housekeeping department, what I believe is the most important thing is that about recruitment and retention of staff. Because people think, for example, I started my career as a room attendant. So people have a mentality that, housekeeping is not a white collar, top-notch job. But the thing is that housekeeping is the backbone of the industry. Housekeeping is the backbone of the hotel industry. So I believe that the recruitment and retention of staff is an important challenge for a hotelier, for a hotel, for a department. The second important thing, what I believe, is about hotel reputation, because many of the guests who are coming to our hotels, they are making sure that it is a home away from home. So we have to make sure that the rooms are clean, neat, and tidy. That is the most important challenge for us currently during this pandemic.
Right.
What I also believe is about the safety and security of the hotel. As rightly said, whenever a person is joining new as a housekeeper, we have to make sure that the person is very down to earth, is very, the integrity is should be proper. He should make sure that he is cleaning the room. The staff which we are hiring should be of a professional attitude towards the guest, because at the end of the guest, for a hotel, a guest matters a lot.
Right. All right. Thank you so much. Mr. Raul, they say that first impression is the last impression. So how important it is for a front office associate to develop that first impression with the guest?
To be very honest, yes, first impression counts for a lot. But I think if you're genuine in your dealings, right, and if it comes from your heart, and if it comes and you deal and you listen to the guest, That's all it takes. So yes, of course, grooming, talking to guests is very important, absolutely. But first impressions purely count on your genuinity and how you respond to situations. So as in what you grow through our roles, and you start from wherever your career is, if you are genuine, you respond to situations and you deal with a lot of situations. I'm sure and all the panelists, I'm sure, must have done the same. So yeah, being genuine is very important, and having the right attitude, right? And it's not having the wrong attitude. These are two things, if you in your interactions you keep in mind. One is attitude and your genuinity towards the situation. That's all it takes for first impressions to go right. Yeah.
Okay. Ms. Kandawala, would you like to add some points to this?
No, I agree with Karthik. Actually, genuinity is very important. To show the opposite person, let it be a guest, let it be anyone, that you genuinely are concerned. I don't think you can, then not win that situation. We all go through a lot of situations in a day, and if you try and prove to the guest who is upset or asking for something which is, illogical or something of that sort, then I think if you show the guest that you are really trying and it's not going ahead, I think you win that situation 99%.
Work. Thank you. Thank you so much. Mr. Ferreira, as we know that hotels have all the different types of cultural guests that come and stay with us, right? So how important is for a housekeeper who's there cleaning the rooms, is there around the guests, to know these different cultures?
Well, in hotels, we tend to have a database or history wherein we record the preferences of the guests who are checking in to the hotel, and that helps us to serve them in a much better way. That's where the feeling at home experience comes through. And for those who are first timers, we tend to meet them, understand what are their food requirements, their stay requirements, and then accordingly we try to incorporate them in during their stay with us. So hotels tend to have a long-staying guest history update or a first-timers history update, and then we go according to that.
Okay. All right. Mr. Nilave, I have a question for you. While you're hiring a housekeeping personnel, how important it is to check their physical and mental fitness?
Uh, Housekeeping is all about physical work. So we have to make sure as a hotelier, as a person, to make sure that we are hiring the right person for the right job. Uh, because it's all about physical exercises, physical work. The most important thing while we are also checking is about mental health, because we have to make sure, because a person should be attentive towards the job. He should also be the integrity. There should be no integrity as such. We should make sure, because they are going and servicing the guest rooms, the person, the attendant, the room attendant should be he should be ethically correct. uh, the mental and physical, there are a lot of ways in which we try to make sure that these mental and physical health of a candidate is checked. And I think so these are a few points for that. But the more important point is all about the commitment towards the work. As rightly said by Karthik, the integrity and the commitment towards the work is most important. No job is small,
Right.
no job is big. The person should be damn on. He should work properly, professionally, and with heart.
Right. So the integrity is very important. Yes, because
Integrity
we're
with
dealing
heart.
with guests and guest belongings around. Yes, absolutely. All
Yes,
right.
yes, yes.
Ms. Kandawala, thank you. Ms. Kandawala, it says that having multilinguistic, is it important for the front office, or being fluent in English, is that all enough?
No, now in today's day and age, if you go to say, you need to be at least a little multilinguistic, even if it is our own Indian languages. So, for example, in my hotel, we have this, in our group, in fact, we have this, that if uh, there's a guest who is a Maharashtrian and the team member is a Maharashtrian, the team member can talk to that guest in that particular language. So it just becomes easy. It is the guest approaches you in a different manner. His outlook towards you becomes different, and the entire interaction becomes a little more, what should we say? Yes, easy. It's in fact it's nice, and in fact even to other languages, foreign languages, if you have the passion to learn it, there is no harm in learning. There is no harm in even saying a simple good morning in German or Spanish if you know it. Trust me, it brings in a great smile to the guest if they can hear that little good morning or anything. So it is
Yes.
important. And in fact, I think, forget professionally, also personally, it's a great high for you to know these kind of languages. It's a nice feeling, I think, and you make better friends then as guest becomes
Right.
a.
Right. Thank you so much. Mr. Rahul, inculcating reading newspaper habits or knowing what is happening around the globe, how is it an added advantage towards the front office personnel?
Absolutely. I mean, I think today's world, a lot of us, we all have our gadgets, right? And we get these news every second, but it's absolutely essential to know what you're dealing with and how the world is operating, right? It's not just India anymore. We have global travelers from around the world, and it's absolutely essential. And obviously, this is again not politically, yeah, we refrain from talking to guests about politics, obviously, because that's again a very personal thing. That's something you should always stay away from. But again, it's a great way to strike conversations when you're with the guest in the lobby, when you're taking the check-in, check-out, coming from the airport. These are small things that go a long way, where the person knows that you really care and you know what's going on around the world. So any knowledge that you have can never be less and can be utilized the right way. So absolutely, reading just not newspapers, but anything related to your passion that you have. You don't know when you can build that connection with the guest, and you really can connect at a very personal level. It can just be passion for
Right.
bikes. It can be for sports, a lot of other things. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Ms. Yadav, coming to the situation of right now, in this particular situation, how are y'all sanitizing the rooms, or what are the different chemicals that y'all are using?
The basic chemicals which we were using across the world, in fact, I can say across the hospitality sector, was the Diverseed products. So in that, we are using R1, which we are sanitizing, which we are using first to do the basic cleaning of the room. And then we have introduced chemicals like Virex, which is like a sanitizing for specific surfaces like doorknobs, and the floor. And we are using Oxybead, which is we are using to sanitize all the upholstery in the room, like a sofa, chairs, and the touch points like the WC seat, WC flush handle, the telephones in the room. So these are the two chemicals which we are using all across in public areas as well as rooms to completely sanitize them.
Is there something followed for air purification in rooms?
Air purification, as such, the filters are every departure, the filters are being checked and changed. So if a guest has immediately checked out, so we do not enter the room for at least 15 to 30 minutes. And after the guest is checked out, as a precautionary measure, we go and the departure check happens, wherein we go and change the filter, and then only we rest the room for 24 hours to 72 hours, and then only we let it out to the next guest.
Next guest. All right. Thank you so much. Ms. Kandawala, what are the new processes that are followed for check-in and check-out?
So it's all very contactless. The in inverted commas, and I can see Karthik smiling over there because
Yes.
contactless. And I don't think if it has to be contactless, then we'd rather have check-in kiosk. Then we are not at jobs. So yes, but a lot of contactless methods have started. I don't see that, though there are many guests who are very particular about, you know, um, touching the surfaces, or, not wanting to sign on a registration card and all of that. But still, I do not see that force of guests wanting to even get into contactless check-ins or do online check. So there is a mix
Okay.
that we have, but yeah, started off having shields at our reception desk that differentiate and have a lot of distance between the two individuals, that is the guest and the team members. Obviously, the team members are geared up with their face shields, mask, and everything. We encourage a lot of guests in the lobby to be doing that, wearing their face mask at all. Not something that comes to you very quickly in your mind because your mind is
Yes.
you're busy. So obviously, you need to keep reminding the guests. A lot of check-ins over their own phones have started. We do check-ins on their own phones, but as I said initially, that's not picked up a lot in at least in my hotel or in my group as of now so much. Over a period of time, I think when international travel will start in full swing, I think it will become a norm because Indians will travel abroad. They will see this norm happening. If foreigners will come here, they will obviously be getting into online check-in modes and everything. So I think this will pick up. At the moment,
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Pereira,
Yes.
Mr. Pereira, what are the SOPs that are followed for laundry and linen segregation?
Well, whenever we get laundry from the guest room, it goes through a sanitization process before we even processing it. Reason being that the garments have to be disinfected and then the regular laundry process is done, be it washing or be it dry cleaning or be it basic pressing. The same goes for linen as well. All the linen handlers who handle the soil linen, we've been made to wear PPE kit, which is a personal protective equipment gear, gloves, a nose mask, so that they keep themselves safe while handling linen. Room linen, as in the hotel linen, before being processed, is sanitized, and then we put it to pre-wash cycle with high-grade medical disinfectant, and then the regular wash cycle begins. So these are additional steps and additional precautions being taken, especially during the current situation, to ensure that safety is is the most important from the guest perspective, as well as from those handling of linen.
All right. Ms. Yadav, would you like to add in some points towards what are you all following in the hotel with depending on linen laundry?
For linen, earlier also we were using for the white linen, most of our bed sheets and pillow slips and everything are pure white. So the bleach which we are using now, we have, it's like a Virex kind of a solution, which is a mixture. So it acts as a disinfectant completely, and it clears off all the germs or bacteria or viruses in the linen. So that has been added into the wash cycle. Similarly, all the dusters, all the uniform first is dipped into a virus solution so that it is completely sanitized and then only it is processed.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Coming to you, Mr. Raul, when it comes to these apps that are being developed for check-ins and check-outs, how important do you think it is for the hotels to start working on developing them? Or what are you all following? I guess you all already have an app for your check-ins. So how are you all
Yes.
dealing with it?
So I'll just actually what Benas said, just to add to that, right? First of all, that as Indians, as our culture is, we unfortunately do not like to go contactless. So similar situation is what we are also expecting or going through here. So definitely that's a challenge with the Indian mentality. And then yes, you have this set of people who would like to do it through contactless. So yes, there are facilities for that. So as Four Seasons worldwide, we have the Four Seasons app, and you have the availability to check in online through that. At the same time, at the property level, 24 hours before, you send the link again if the guest wishes to check in again. So we do that as well. And of course, when the confirmation goes 72 hours prior, there's again an automated link that goes to remind the guests if they wish to check in. Purely, this is to minimize any contact that we can, have with the guest. We also have something called the Four Seasons Messenger, which is quite famous actually. Worldwide again. This is again to do with any services of the hotel. So you can book your limousine, you could do, you can order your food. Everything is available through our Four Seasons app and the messenger service, including your laundry pickup. It can be making your bed, your room, all of that. So yes, technology is an integral part now of the Four Seasons. So we try to keep it as, service through staff, of course, but it's human element, which is taking care of technology. So definitely moving forward as well, as again what Benaz had said, that once international travel opens, and I hope soon, the use of this is going to be very important and critical, because obviously we as India, of course, is not considered, unfortunately, though we do practice the best norms. There is, of course, a little bit of travelers who come first time are always worried of the things we do, right? So these things are going to become critical in the future. Absolutely, it's a huge investment, as any company would have to do. And a lot of companies are actually doing it already. So yeah, absolutely. It's critical.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Nilave, what are the changes that have happened in the room, like in terms of amenities, or what is the process that is followed within the room that is added new?
Currently, we have started to remove all those items. We have started to remove all those items which are all touch points. For example, we used to have an amenity box. For a guest, he used to touch the amenity box. He used to open the lid. He used to uh, remove the amenities and all. Currently, for example, for my hotel, we have removed the amenity box. We have tried to make sure that the hotel is all tech savvy. Whatever the guest is asking for example, if there was a room service compendium which has been removed, and now we have it is all about QR code. Whenever the guest is checking, he automatically on the email he gets a QR code for room service directory or the room service menu. So it's small examples like that. Uh, like another example, uh, the pens, pencils,
Yes.
and all, whatever the collaterals we used to keep, we have started to remove it. And whatever we are keeping, we are making sure that it is all thrown after the guest checkout. It is destroyed. Uh,
Okay.
the major part during this pandemic is all about sanitizing the area. So we are making sure that the minimum amount of required toiletries, required amenities are there and kept in the room, and all the touch points which the guest is which the guest is touching in the room are sanitized on a daily basis after the guest checkout.
All right, thank you so much. Mr. Pereira, do you think with this whole new normal, has the security services increased in the hotel?
The security services has in fact doubled. Basic questions have been asked to the guests in terms of where have they been traveling since the last 15 days to 1 month, if they have any medical history, or if they have the Arogya Setu app with them. So these are all various precautionary measures being taken so that you ensure that your, you know, hello,
Yes, sir. Yes,
hello.
sir.
Yeah, so that it's for the safety of the guest as well as for the safety of the hotel.
Yes.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay.
I
Hello.
think, Roma, your screen has
Hello.
frozen.
Yes.
Ma'am, you can hear me? Hello.
Yes, we can
Yes,
hear
yes,
you. We
we
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
Okay.
I'm going to step in for a bit
Yes.
because there were a few things while you all were talking that on behalf of the students to ask. The very first question, Ms. Benaz and Vindhya, I think together, you said there would be a lot of skirmishes that would happen between the front office and the housekeeping. So what measures are used to find, to to resolve issues like this? Is there a specific method? Is it just making sure that you'll have meetings, or is there, how do you resolve these kind of issues that come up?
Basically, coordination.
Okay.
Communication is very important between the two departments, and a little bit of planning. So that planning happens one day before, when the arrival list is being shared or discussed in our meeting. So we should know what we are getting into the next day, plan accordingly, so that the team can then work on it and they are well prepared for it.
Okay. Do you all have some kind of team building between the two of y'all, or some kind of I guess activities to help both the housekeeping and the front office departments kind of build that bond as such?
We do have rooms division meets. We do have, we have had in the past. Right now, the teams are very scattered.
Yes, yes.
We've had get-togethers in the past, and we do often keep meeting between the front office and housekeeping teams. Meet to, if in case if there are any issues or anything, we do have a little bit of a conversation, and then that leads into a little bit of a team activity also.
Wonderful, wonderful. The one little, I was both of you have advanced in your careers parallel to the OCLD program. It is a joy for me to see, because it is really, we've had in our span of the college being operational, we've had only one OCLD student being selected. And, it's kind of little disheartening for the rest who kind of feel that, if I don't get in, that's the end of my successful career. But it is a joy to see two independent, beautiful ladies at the helm who have reached it without OCLD, but specifically by following your tenacity. What would you say to kids out there who, who are on this parallel kind of timeline like the two of you?
There is nothing to be disheartened. OCLD is just another certificate, I feel. Wherever you are working, you have to be true to your job, true to yourself. And yes, tenacity is very important. This industry really tests you. If you give up, you give up. Your tenacity is done then, but you have to stick on there. You have to be there. You have to face each day. I think, and then as the first thing that I said, be true to yourself. Then you will be true to your job. That's very important. I think that's the message that I would want to give. As I said, OCLD, I don't think any one of us from here are OCLD panelists or have passed out.
Right.
Yes, it's a beautiful college to go. There's a lot of, you really get exposure to a lot of learning, but that's not the end of it. There is much more.
I'm so sorry. Ms. Bindya, would you like to also encourage our students who...
Sorry, but I am actually an OCLD, but I started my career as a room attendant at the Oberoi Udayavilas.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, and then so yours was an internal...
internal, yes. So it was I worked as a room attendant for a year, and then I got selected for OCLD internally. So I always wanted to be an OCLD person, and I wanted to be a part of the Oberoi group. So I chose the different paths to start from the lower ranks and then see if I didn't want to give up. So I continued it, and God's grace, I got selected in the first year or the first attempt after doing working for a year in the system. But I have a lot of other aspirants also, or friends who did not give up in 3 or 4 attempts. They kept working continuously for 3-4 years and kept giving the interview, and eventually they made it. So the thing is that you have to, if you're really passionate for it, you shouldn't give up. That's the only thing. If you work towards it, eventually you will reach what you really want for. If you aim, if you are very clear about your goal and aim, then you will eventually happen. It may not happen immediately, but it will definitely happen. If you set your eyes on the target, you will achieve it one day, definitely.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. You know, as a lady and having this year almost 50% girls joining us, which has been for Don Bosco an astronomical number, which scared me when I saw so many girls applying. But it, you know, what would you say to, you know, I'm an old lady, so I remember what it was like when I was working. It wasn't the best environment for, you know, unfortunately for me, I have the kind of personality where nobody messes with me, but I kind of saw how difficult it was, you know, as a woman. Is that the space that we are at now in 2020, or is it something that you don't have to deal with, or maybe a little bit?
In fact, we are very open now to ladies, and especially in housekeeping, we prefer ladies because they understand the job role more better. When they interact with the guests, they can add that soft touches, which
Right.
I would not say that a boys cannot do it. They also have it, but sometimes it comes naturally to ladies that they know, okay, this, if something has been kept here, so it has to be straight or it has to be slightly. So these are small touches which girls do it very well. So we actually, the preference has come back to girls that if they come on board, they will do their interaction levels and their eye for detail is much more better than what, I'm not going to be gender specific, but yes, that's the kind of preference I prefer, and Oberoi Hotels also prefers similarly. They feel that ladies can add those soft touches, which a gentleman might not be, if he is not trained well enough, then he might miss out.
Oh.
So the girls are preferred in housekeeping. They do fantastic jobs. But yes, it is a physical labor intensive. So, but a lot of girls are doing it. We have a lot of Northeastern girls who are here with us, and they do lovely job, and guests love them.
Okay, that's wonderful. Yes, Ms. Benaz, I think the only nice thing is that the Me Too movement has made sure that guests realize that you are there for a job and nothing else. So has that changed the whole profile and the way people interact?
For 18 years, I started off very young, 21 years, like what your students must.
Right.
There was no Me Too movement that time.
Right.
There has never been a day that I have felt unsafe as a lady. I have done numerous night shifts, taken rounds as duty manager all alone in the nights in the hotels and all of that. But I've never felt unsafe. I think as a lady, anywhere you go, you need to put your point forward in a particular manner. And then I don't think you will, anything the opposite person will dare to do. So,
wonderful.
I think,
you know, I have to say that
feminists to be agreeing to the movement and all of that. So I feel it's a fair deal. I have equal boys and equal girls in my department, and I think it's if a girl has her respect to keep, a boy also has his respect to keep.
You know, thank you for saying that, because that is one of the pet peeves that a lot of students have of how safe is the career, because it's such a you're constantly involved with people. It has its misnomers. So thank you for removing those fears. Thank you. Just one question to Mr. Karthik. You know, when you were talking about the newspapers and having knowledge about a whole lot of stuff, do you feel like besides politics and religion, sports has also become a difficult conversation to have? Because if you have an allegiance to one football team and you happen to sound very happy that they have won, and you have your guest who has his allegiance to another, would that also cause a problem?
No, I haven't seen that happening so far. I mean,
Okay.
quite a sporty thing, right? And no, I mean, we've had quite a few conversations with guests, and we have it all the time. But yeah, I mean, you have to be very diplomatic, right? That's also part of our job. When
Right,
you feel a little bit of side where it's going the wrong way, you need to know which side you need to be on. So
right,
it's very important to manage conversations, and you learn all these things, right, through our careers.
right.
Just to also add to the feminine bit that you mentioned,
Yes.
most of my bosses have been ladies, and very strong ladies, as you mentioned, and I've learned a lot from them. So yeah, so it's definitely a balanced world out there, and there are plenty of opportunities.
Wonderful. My last question before I hand it over to Roma. You know, you'll have gone everyone has had to create your, I'm sure, rejoining budgets, and you're suddenly, you know, already there's been no income for a couple of months. And then there's added expenditure with sanitization, which is a must. And probably also adding on some more people to make sure that the hotel stays as safe and as sanitized as possible. How do you balance that extra expenditure that is added on to the normal operations that you all already had? This is a huge chunk of your is going to take a huge chunk of your budget. How do you manage this? And the second thing was the sustainability of, you know, when I heard about Mr. Vikas saying that you have to destroy stuff after it's being used. How do you balance sustainability with making sure that you're still being safe as far as sanitizing is concerned? I'll open this out to anybody because it is a huge thing, which I'm sure is a difficult balance for all of you, all five of you.
Naz, you want to start or should I start?
We both have the same story to start with. I'm sure it's not easy. It's not a nice feeling. Trust me.
Yeah.
We have mentioned that we have had to add manpower. Unfortunately, we none of us are in that luxury anymore.
Okay.
We cannot add manpower. We have to do with what we have.
Right.
Yes, work has increased 3 times in terms of sanitization, in terms of ensuring you are noting down guest temperature and all of that before they come into the hotel.
Right.
So, uh, manpower wise, we are stretched, and the team is really stretched. And we must give it to the team that we have in the hotels and all of us in our own respective hotels. Without them, all of this is not possible. In terms of revenue, yes, there has been humongous, growth and increase of all the stuff that has come into the hotel in terms of sanitization. And we've had kind of the income has really dropped. The What we've had to do is we've had to look at other areas and see wherein we can reduce our costing. They were budgeted much before. We've had to reduce them drastically to be able to sustain our current sanitization budgets that we have now. So it's not nice. It's not easy. It's no, but it's a challenge. I think we need to all face that. We have to sustain ourselves in the industry.
Thank you. Karthik, would you like to also add to that?
Sure. So, most of it, what Benaz has said is true, but I just want to say that hospitality was considered the most secure job that you could ever have. Well, to be very honest, however, I mean, you need to deviate yourself from just hotels, and that's the future. You need to look at avenues such as, of course, airlines is something which is not the right place right now, but hospitals, we've never considered, but it is a great avenue for jobs, which we've never looked at before. However, I know a lot of successful housekeeping members who are now managing hospitals, and facilities. And um, just it's you have to open up avenues because hospitality is not anymore just hotels. That is definitely something you should be looking at. In terms of revenue streams, as Benaz was talking about, a lot of deliveries, right? Hotels delivering food is become the new normal, I would say. It is something which is now a revenue generating factor for a lot of hotels. I know about Marriott's, I know about ourselves. I'm not sure if Oberoi's is doing it, but Taj as well. So a lot of them have started doing it, and it's good business because people feel secured when they order from you, when they know that the food is going in your cars. Third party services, especially cleaning. It's something, which has been dismissed for most of, at least our hotel, and I'm sure it's the same for others, where we have generated jobs by doing so, right? So there is nothing of a small job or a big job, to secure jobs, we have to look at avenues. So you have to be open-minded again. So, for your students, I would say, uh, again, right attitude, right? Taking what you get is the right thing to do right now. And definitely, so a lot has changed in terms of looking at rooms, for example, as Vikas mentioned, minimizing what is in the room. Yes, there is wastage in terms of sustainability. What everyone was working towards, I think 2019 was mostly focused on that, on sustainable hotels, and that was the new normal. However, when this pandemic, the situation happened, that was certainly something we had to let go of, because recycling was not an option.
All right. Wonderful. Roma's back, so I will
Yes.
let Roma continue.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
All right. Ms. Ganas, when ma'am was asking you and you said about taking a lot of details down from the guests, so has that made you all change something into your guest registration cards? If you're not taking it.
Registration cards anymore. Everything is on iPads, on laptops, phones. So there is no paperwork, but there is a lot of technical work that has increased for us accordingly, and that's how now the way the things are moving forward. So for the younger generation, for the students that you have in your college, when they come on board, they are going to be much, much more tech savvy than what I am at the moment. So they are going to find it very easy. Online, that I still struggle with it though.
Right. Okay. Uh, Mr. Pereira, would you like to tell me what are you all doing in case if there is a baby cot or the toys that are being used? If there are still, is it still there uh, due to COVID? Do you all still give baby cots and toys, or is there a sanitization process that is happening to that?
Yes, we do have requests for baby cots because to ensure the comfort of sleep for the child. But we don't encourage cots and additional bolsters and kind of sleeping pillows because
Kingsley, you have
Sorry,
to
you
unmute.
got, yes, got mute.
so the So the baby cots just have a very simple fitted sheet, and of course the entire cot is sanitized before giving it to the child. And we give a parent instruction card. I think most hotels have moved away from having additional dressing up of the baby cot in terms of bolsters and blankets because those have led to many unfortunate incidents wherein we've had accidents take place. And with regards to toys, we don't give, as in it's not advisable.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Mr. Pereira. Uh, Mr. Rahul, would you like to tell me, is there a VIP check-in process? Is that still happening? What is the changes that are done in VIP guest check-ins?
So currently we don't have a concept because we're not escorting guests to the rooms, right? So that is something which is eliminated in terms of, however, the arrival experience still remains. So we have something called lead guests as Four Seasons, right? Who generate revenue throughout the world with Four Seasons. So we call them the lead guest. And for them, yes, in terms of recognition remains priority. So they need to receive 100% recognition, and the senior leadership team, such as the general manager or the hotel manager, needs to still meet them on arrival and during the stay. So in terms of the process, I think still remains, but escorting is something we've eliminated at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Uh, Mr. Nalave, we know that when it comes to guests checking out, we are keeping the rooms out for some time and then servicing it. But what happens in case of occupied room servicing?
For our hotel, we are servicing the room after as per the new normal, as per the directives. We are servicing our room, the occupied rooms after every third night. For example, if a guest is checking today, so after third night, on the fourth day, it will be serviced. We are also making sure that whenever we are servicing the room attendant is wearing all the PPE, including the face shield. And when he goes into the room, we are also making sure that the guest is not there in the room. We are trying as a hotelier, as a hotel, we are trying to make sure that we are having very less contact with the guest for the housekeeping, for the entire, for F&B also, for front office also. But for housekeeping point of view, the boys are trained every alternate days. Every third day, the boys are trained for all these things. We have a set of people who are staying in the hotel because to minimize the chances of the staff getting infected or because of COVID. So that the staff are staying in the hotel and they are servicing the rooms. We are making sure, as rightly said by one of our panelists, there is a lot of stress currently, physical and most importantly mental.
Right.
But things will go, things will change, and definitely the hoteliers' days will come.
Absolutely.
That is the way we are working now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Okay. To everybody, as we are nearing to the end of this, we're opening the question and answer session. But before that, if each one of you could tell us budding hoteliers, what are they supposed to look ahead for? Starting with Ms. Danas.
So you all are young. All of you must be not more than 20, 21 years of age. Going to be maybe starting work soon. My only message to you all is that you all have spent 2, 3 years in this college. You all have worked a lot, made a lot of assignments, done a lot of those kind of things. Stick to the job. Don't leave the job. Youngsters nowadays, they find it a little difficult. They leave the job. There is no stability then. And I'm not saying they don't do well for themselves. They do. But if you've decided that you want to continue, or you've decided that you want to pursue hotel industry, then pursue it. Give it its fair chance. Don't leave after a year or 6 months of joining a job. No job is going to be easy. Everything is tough. And it's getting tougher, to be very honest. But if you're going to keep leaving, then you're not going to be stable anywhere in life. So please, my only message is enjoy the work. Hotels are fun to work with. They have the incidents that you come through and all of that. It's all fun in the day. Along with that, be committed to your job. That's it. I do not want you all to, leave a job within a year of you joining it because you have not really experienced it.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Thank you, Ms. Danas Kandwala. Miss Yadav. Miss Yadav?
Yes,
Yes. What is the message that you would want to give, ma'am?
I would also like to say to all the students, whenever you join the hotel industry, please give some time to it, experience, keep an open mind, try different departments. If one department is not working out, in Oberoi Hotels, we are giving an option that if you multitasking is one of the things which we have started in Oberoi Hotels. So if you're working in front office, if you don't like, then you can try in FME service. So all these options are available. So if you feel and after joining, if you feel that this department is not working out for me, please try some other department. See what suits you best, and then you have to give in your 100% because the market scenario currently, because of the pandemic, is not that great. Give it a time and just keep an open mind and learn. Have that inquisitive mind so that you can grasp more things, and that will definitely help you in future.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Pereira.
Yes, during our time, we never had these kind of online webinars. I remember when I was in IHM, Mumbai, we never had these kind of online webinars. And what Don Bosco is doing for his students is absolutely phenomenal, wherein you are exposed to students to so many different careers and facets of, careers. So I would just want to tell the students to, this is the best time to, kind of work on your skills. Log into these webinars because they're very informative. They give you, you get a lot of information from hands-on from professionals who are in the field. And definitely this is just a phase which will pass by. And whatever career path you'll choose to work in, as hospitality has various facets like hotels and facilities management, or later on in life you can even become an entrepreneur and start your own kind of business. So heads on your shoulders, don't go along with what your group of friends are doing, whatever. See what your heart says, and stick with that, and be positive and think about your future, and I'm sure everything will work out well.
Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Karthik Rao, would you like to add some points to that?
Pretty much is covered, right? But I
Yes.
guess, again, I'll come back to the same thing, the right attitude, right? Open to change. And yes, management training is not the only thing that gets you to things. So be open to what you get, especially in today's times. I would say take up what you get and work your way in. And the last thing is the company culture, right? All hotels, all groups have a way and a culture inculcated as a hotel. So it's very important that when you're joining a company, you know their culture. Do you adapt to that or you don't? Because it's not always that you would like an ex-hotel and the way they work. So it's very important to find a balance. So absolutely, when you're choosing somewhere to work, you need to be very sure what you're getting into. And yeah, the rest is all covered. But thank you for organizing this and making us part of
Thank you
it.
so much. Thank
It's
you.
a great initiative, and congratulations on it.
Thank you so much. Mr. Vikas Nalawe, you have some points to add on to?
As majority of the points have been covered by our fellow panelists, but I will try and say only one thing. Uh, be true to your job and love your job. Whatever you are doing, you try to do your best. All the fellow students who will be graduating in some years time and will be joining the hotel industry, I will personally tell my experience. I'm born and brought up in Hyatt Regency. Uh, uh, every day is a new day. Every day is a new challenge. Don't No job is small. Uh, all the departments are all actively involved in the hotel, and it is fun to work in hotel industry. Uh, I will give a good example of mine. I will inform the fellow students. When I passed out from IHM Ahmedabad in 2005, we were 17 who joined from Hotel Management College in Hyderabad, Mumbai. After 6 months, only two of us remained. The rest, everyone left because their friends went here and there. They were doing MBAs and all. Be true to your job. Be true to what you are doing. and it is exciting to work with. It's very exciting.
Thank you so
So
much.
best of luck, and thank you
Thank
for
you.
organizing. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much. All right, I'd just like to take a question from the chat section. Anybody can answer that.
Sorry, Roma,
yes,
can
sorry.
I ask for one question, which I'm sorry,
Yes,
I should have
sure.
asked what we were doing.
No.
So I understand that everyone comes in and temperature's taken. Then I don't know whether oxygen is also tested.
Yes.
They come in to the, from both sides, the guests and the hoteliers who are working. In the event of somebody getting sick, what is the present response, and how do the rest, I mean, you know, if there is a certain amount of tracking, how do you all manage it with so many people being on board?
Well, if a guest or a staff has shown symptoms of the virus, then immediately hotels are normally affiliated with hospitals. Then we have them shifted to the hospital,
Right.
and then they are kept under separate kind of treatment. They are in
Okay.
quarantine, and they're not made to come back to the hotel. They are kept under quarantine and under observation till their health improves. And of course, the area where they have moved around in the hotel or in the guest room, we have that entire room sealed off, and accordingly the sanitization process takes place.
Okay. Is there a tracking done with who has come in contact with the guest, and even are they tested or quarantined the same way, or?
No, of course. No, the staff who have come in contact with the guest, they are sent for a test, so that we ensure that everyone is kept safe.
All right. All right. So, all right. Thank you. Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm just reading this. Good evening, respected panelists. My question is on behalf of the final year students. How has this pandemic affected and altered the job perspectives? Does anyone want to take the question? Yes.
Before March of this year, none of us knew that it would really hit the hospitality industry in India so hard, although it was quite prevalent outside India. But yes, it's of nobody's at fault, or nobody to be blamed here, be it the management or the hoteliers. But yeah, certain management had to take the call to lay off people. But I guess that is a part and parcel of life. You can't, continue living in the kind of depression or or feel sad about it. But yes, things will bounce back, and you just have to have faith in yourself and move on. A lot of qualified and highly experienced people have lost their jobs because of companies being unable to fund them because they themselves were running into losses. But yeah, you have to kind of work and be multi-skilled and multitask, and that's the only way wherein you can see yourself through this difficult situation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pereira, for answering that question. Is there anybody else who has any other questions in the chat section, please? If you all wish to put it down or want to ask. All right.
All right. So if there aren't any questions, Roma ma'am, do you have any more?
No, ma'am. No, that's fine.
Okay. So I just want to round up, because for all those students who are there, being the teacher that we are, let's round up and remind each and every one of you that is joining of this, of the points that all the wonderful panelists have told you. Stick with your job. Extremely important. And to the ones who are graduating and there is nothing on the horizon, we have given you enough of entrepreneurship skills to tide it till you are getting the job. But once you get the job, remember, whatever door opens, make sure you enter it, and then you stay there for a while and do your best. Be true to your job, be committed, be open-minded, have an inquisitive mind to keep learning, keep developing your skills, but at the bottom of it all, be a genuine person, have the right attitude to your job, and make sure that if you find yourself in an environment that you're not liking, try another department. But the hotels and hospitality department and the industry is definitely going to move on. So I'd like to thank Ms. Behnaz Kandawala. Truly, I know how difficult it is for you in all that you all are doing to take the time out, to the entire panelists, to Ms. Kandawala, to Ms. Yadav, to Mr. Pereira, to Mr. Rao, and Mr. Nilamne. Thank you very much for taking the time out and inspiring our students. You know, that's one thing about these webinars. Physically, it's very hard to get people to Kurla. I know Mr. Rao has been there and Mr. Pereira has been to Kurla, but it's so far away from everyone that we really find it difficult to get people to come. And this way we get to meet all of you, we get the students to see all of you and to be inspired by all of you. It is my joy that I have found in this entire corona pandemic mayhem. It's a complete and absolute joy. I have to thank my staff, Roma ma'am. We have a chef who's turned an IT person. So Chef Melroy, who's back-end IT, along with two students, Justin and Raul, and my webinar team, Susan ma'am, Roma ma'am, Prasad Chef, Andre sir, who does all our taglines. I want to thank all of them. And everyone that has come here today. I hope you're completely inspired and realize that you need to get ready for all the opportunities as soon as we burst past this pandemic. Thank you, each one of you, our wonderful panelists. Have a wonderful evening, and do know that you have sown seeds in our budding hoteliers. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful evening. And from all of us at Don Bosco, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you for
everyone.
having
Thank you.
us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Yadav. Thank
Thank you.
you.